Hey YouTube, 837 South Jersey. So, quick update. Finally got my truck on the road about 2 weeks ago. Drove it back and forth to work for about a week, which is 10 miles there, 10 miles back. Ran perfectly. And then this past weekend, I stalled in the middle of an intersection and I noticed that my battery was not charging while I was driving. Luckily, I was only 2 miles from home, and my my dad came and towed me home with a tow rope. So ran a bunch of tests, narrowed it down to the alternator, and the brand new alternator is already fried because it's made in China. I'm gonna have my original one rebuilt. OEM Chrysler 60 amp. Hoping the guy can rebuild it to maybe a 70 or 80 amp, but if not, it's fine. All I have is a CB radio, 4 watts, 2-pill linear, and 50 watt GMRS, but it's not like I'm running everything at the same time. Plus, most of my lights have been converted to LEDs, so take away a few amps and then add a few amps is probably running about equal to what it was from factory. So I haven't really noticed a big deal, but who knows, maybe that's why I fried my brand new alternator. I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. Take you for another little walk around, put some freshly used tires on my truck. Yeah, that's the day I broke down on my way home from getting these tires put on. My buddy helped me put them on. What are they? Firestone Transforce HTs. I personally put about maybe 8 miles on them. I like them so far. But yeah, they're used anyway. They got probably, I'd say, about 80%, not even 90% tread life left on them. There's a lot of tread on those tires. But yeah, I'm not 100% done with the truck. Gave it the old rattle can spray paint job. Turned out okay. Still got the rust around the wheel wells that I gotta address. I put a ginormous red glass pack on it, and my wonderful, beautiful, horrible freight welder welding skills, not really. Yeah, that's pretty much it so far. Got my spare strapped to the back there. I took the extra springs out, and I took the fifth wheel brackets out. The fifth wheel's over there amongst some junk somewhere, but yeah, I took these out a few days into driving it, and believe it or not, these 3 extra springs taken out made a world of difference in comfort. But yeah, so far so good, other than that little hiccup I'm running into. And actually, before that alternator died on me, I was about to troubleshoot, not necessarily low idle, because I can get it to idle correctly. It wanted to basically jump while I'm at a stoplight, with my foot on the brakes. It wanted to keep jumping, so I have another buddy of mine. He's going to rebuild my carburetor for me. That may not necessarily be the issue, but it could be a vacuum issue. I noticed the vacuum advance hose has no vacuum whatsoever. Also, one of my adjustment screws in the carburetor, I'll just show you. Well, maybe not. So on both sides of the bottom section of the carburetor, there's an adjustment screw. There's one right there, and there should be one on the other side, but that one has been snapped off for who knows how long, since before I got the truck. The vacuum advance hose right here has no vacuum whatsoever. The choke doesn't open up all the way as it warms up. It does work correctly, it just doesn't work all the way, if that makes sense. He helped me time it. I want to get the dwell reading, and I want to run a compression test to all 8 cylinders and see what that tells me. We did time it. He let me borrow his timing light, which it does have a dwell setting on it, which is pretty cool. He also gave me his dwell meter, which also reads RPMs and volts. It's a Actron. I'm sure they're not in business anymore, but made in USA. That's all I care about. And amongst this mess over here, he let me borrow his timing light. Pretty nice timing light. Does volts, advance, dwell, and RPMs. But yeah, this video is turning into a lot longer than I really wanted it to be, but that's okay. I got time. Yeah, every time I was at a stoplight, my steering wheel would just rattle, you know. So I fixed that. I sliced a 3/4 inch electrical conduit, PVC in half, coated it with some white lithium grease, and strapped it to the steering rod. And as rednecky as that sounds, and that may not be the correct fix, I'd like to find out why it's doing that. For right now, it works, and it works perfectly. I love it. It's much more comfortable at a stoplight until the truck wants to move on you while you're on the brakes. Yeah, this video is a lot longer than I anticipated. Let's see. I haven't started my truck in about 24 hours. It's already at 7.4 volts, 7.5, whatever. Made a little center column here out of some plywood and some, I don't know what that stuff's called. One side's blackboard, one side's dry erase board. It's kind of temporary until I figure out whether or not I like it. I like the angles of it. I like where the cup holders are. I rigged up a cell phone holder. This was a cup holder cell phone mount I found in, I don't remember where I found it, to be honest with you, but I found it. And I didn't like it taking up one of my 2 cup holders. So I cut the cup holder part off and strapped it to the side of this, the front of this column thing, center, whatever you want to call it, center console. My CB was mounted underneath. I decided I didn't like it, so I moved it to the center console. I also recessed my GMRS. I like that radio, although I'm not a big fan of the cheap single chip in there. I'd rather have had another Midland, but this does 50 watts. This does a little more than the Midland will do, which is part of the reason why I got that one instead of a Midland. It was also cheaper. I had that little, it's like a little 2.5, 3 inch by 2.5 to 3 inch speaker just sitting around, so I unscrewed the back casing of it and cut a hole for the speaker and screwed the cover on there, it works good. The external speaker for the CB is mounted up top. Got my stereo put in. It's not a CD player, so it's pretty shallow, which is one of the reasons why I liked it. It's a JVC, Bluetooth, AM, FM, I don't know, Pandora or Alexa, whatever that button is. I don't care what that is. And then my brother-in-law gave me some nice speakers. They're 6.5 or 6 3/4, I forget. Those things rock. I would say I'd like an amplifier and a subwoofer, a small one, to separate the different tones, because I'm only hearing everything come from those two speakers and it just sounds weird. Maybe I'm used to 10 or 11 speakers, whatever's in that Nissan, but I think if I separate the different tones or pitches or whatever you guys call it, I think it would sound better. Maybe some two little tweeters somewhere up front. But that's all later down the line. It's not a big deal right now, like getting this thing back up and running is. The only gauge that doesn't work is my temp gauge, which I think I might know why that's not working. Probably just a dirty connection. What else is there? There's my buddy gave me timing light, and yeah, that's pretty much it. There's my little TX 150, a little 2-pill. Guess it does about 150 to 200 watts. And then my 7-foot fire stick, and right there is my, it's hard to see, there we go, up against the tree, little stubby Midland free with the radio antenna, little probably a little 4-inch antenna or so. I don't need a massive antenna on this truck. I don't really plan on GMRSing in this truck as much as I do CBing. But yeah, my parents gave me their old toolbox from their truck since they don't use it. And We the People got the Don't Tread on Me snake over there. So yeah, that's it. I don't really know what else to show you guys, so guess that's it for now. 837 South Jersey saying 73s.